What's up, guys? So in this review I'm going to be reviewing Spectre, which I saw last night. And there's going to be spoilers in this, so be forewarned. I'm not going to say that Spectre is the worst James Bond film, but I'm not going to also say that it's the greatest James Bond film either. Basically, it reminded me of a fusion of several of the older Sean Connery films, especially with using the Spectre organization that's in there, and some of the cut scenes reminded me a lot like You Only Live Twice, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Thunderball, The Spy Who Loved Me, especially with that fight scene with Batista and Daniel Craig on the train. But a lot of the clothing also and the apparel as well was a nod to the older films. Basically, this film was a tribute film in my opinion, fusing all the old films together into one, trying to make it more modern. It didn't exactly feel like a modern James Bond, it felt more like a tribute to James Bond, like I was saying. I mean, there were some cool action scenes in here, but also there was a lot of talking at the same time, which did bore the hell out of me for a good number. And there was a lot of traveling that was in the film, different locations, and there were some plot holes, but in the end, I mean, they've left it open. I'm gonna guess and say that they're probably going to do something similar to On Her Majesty's Secret Service, where they have Madeline, the love interest, being killed off in the opening scene if Daniel Craig were to return. But at this point, I highly doubt he's going to return, because number one, he's almost 50 years old, and I think with his recent remarks, he's just tired of Bond. I don't think he wants to do this anymore. But for the time that he's had a good run. I give him that. And then for a final film, it's not a bad final film to go out on. Way better than Die Another Day. Way better than A View to a Kill. Even better than Quantum of Solace. I mean, in the past there has been some shitty Bond films, but they always end up getting good reviews in the end, I notice, even though they start off with bad reviews. And I don't know what the future is. I'm not really too keen on having Idris Elba play Bond. I mean, I just don't see a black James Bond. Plus the fact that he's also too old, in my opinion. They need to have somebody who's between 28 and 35, no older, to play the role up until they reach 50, like the way Daniel Craig is now. And my favorite was Casino Royale. Spectre, though, I mean, I'd probably have to rate it at a C. I mean, like I said, it's not the worst, but it's not the greatest. I put it like right between the middle. It definitely wasn't as good as Skyfall. I don't see why people are putting Skyfall down, saying that this is better than Skyfall, which I strongly disagree on. If anything, this would be like a cheap remake of Skyfall. With the whole terrorist organizations and the way they have, all the technology and everything, I think that's what they're focusing on, trying to modernize it that way. I mean, whereas in real life we have Al Qaeda, we have Anonymous, we have, all these other terrorist organizations, and ISIS. I know, I'd like to see in a James Bond film something that's more original in the future. Something that doesn't include any of the past elements. I mean, hell, make the guy be a stoner, for instance. I mean, I know that wouldn't work. But I just think they should try something different, something for a change. Have him take on a bunch of black thugs in the ghetto or something. Have him take on a Mexican cartel. Have him take on ISIS, shit. Give him long hair. Make him dress in cut-off jeans and a muscle shirt. Instead of a Walter PPK, make him carry a .357 Magnum, shit. Just try something different. All the other shit's been done all before. Change is a key element with, going with the times. Instead of driving a Aston Martin, have him drive a Ferrari or a 67 Mustang or something. Just do something different. I mean, in the future, that's what I recommend to these producers and these directors. I mean, don't stick with the same past formulas that you always been doing before. Casino Royale was great when it came out. Yeah, a lot of people put Daniel Craig down because, you know, because of his looks and because of his acting style. I mean, he's very true to the books, but he's also got his own style as well too. I mean, no one's ever done the role like the way he's done it before. Timothy Dalton almost was similar to him, but not quite. But I mean, I do recommend that you guys see Spectre. I mean, being a James Bond fan, being a diehard fan that I am, I'll tell everybody else, go see it. It's not as bad as Die Another Day, so take my word for it. Adios.